Look at his butt. Say hi. This is my good girl Winsor. She's gonna be joining us for today's video. Mwah. Welcome back to another video, and today's video is very near and dear to my heart. So the other day I was taking a gander through some old memory boxes that had like some art from when I was a child and some pictures, and it stirred up a lot of emotions and feelings, some good and some not so good. Seeing all those things kind of made me reflect on how far I've come as a person and how I've learned how to cope with mental health issues, which leads me to today's sponsors. Nice segue. Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. So many of you have probably heard of BetterHelp, mainly from other creators here on YouTube collaborating with them. And as you know, I've been very open about my mental health here on this channel as much as I possibly can be, because I think it's not a taboo subject at all, and it shouldn't be. And as much as I like to think that I can help you guys with my little tips and advice here and there, I am obviously not a professional. But BetterHelp is full of them. And talking a little bit about BetterHelp, they are basically a very affordable and convenient service that allow you to obtain private counseling, and you can basically talk to many licensed professional therapists for a fraction of the price that a normal therapist would be in an office that I personally have attended, and I can confirm they are quite expensive. So for someone that doesn't have the funds to get professional help, yeah, I think BetterHelp is a really great alternative. I also think that it's great the fact that you don't feel the anxiety of sitting face to face and telling a stranger about your issues. It completely removes a lot of the intimidation that you get from starting counseling, or basically the things that sometimes restrain people from starting counseling. I will say that myself, having had therapy and still having counseling, is one of the best things you can do to help deal with mental health. And I can tell you wholeheartedly that I do recommend BetterHelp, and if you guys feel like you would personally benefit from this service, don't hesitate to click the link down there in my description box. It's just at the top of the description box, and you can start your therapy today, and you honestly will feel so much better. And so with all this good stuff said, let's get on to the art portion of today's video. I thought that in the theme of evolving emotionally as a person, I thought I'd also see how I've evolved as an artist since I was a child. So I picked out a drawing that I think clearly depicted my art style at the time, and I thought I'd redraw it right now as a 20-year-old. And I'd like to also, if I may, have a little chat with you guys about my relationship with art and mental health together, because to me they're very two intertwined subjects. I think art and mental health are two very important things that go together, personally, in my life. So without any further ado, let's get right on into the video. So the drawing that I'm going to be redrawing today is this horrid thing creation that I made when I was like 5 years old in about 2003, and we don't have enough time to unpack everything that's happening in this drawing. I think that middle person's meant to be me, maybe on a lot of drugs maybe, and for some reason we're being kidnapped / praising this giant furry panda. But we're not exploring any of that. And today's medium is going to be watercolors, because I have been recently loving to do like speed paintings in watercolors. So yeah. And the person that I decided to redraw in this video is just going to be the bottom right character, because I think it would take up a lot of time if I tried to redraw everything in detail. So we're redrawing that broken-legged girl, bless her soul. She is not okay. So I'm just figuring out a little pose for her here, and now that we've started the time-lapse drawing, I think it's a good time to start talking about the topic of today's video, and it's mental health. Since today we're being sponsored by BetterHelp, I thought mental health was something really nice to touch upon, and specifically my relationship between mental health and art, which I think are two very closely related subjects, to be honest. My entire life, art has been the rope that like helps me out of a depressive hole when I fall in one, because it's like something that's always there for me, and this has been something since I was very little. For someone who suffered a lot of change, hurt, and still suffers from anxiety, having art as a constant always being there for me, like it's been always such a lifesaver. it's very important to hold on to the things that you love, because they are technically what keep your feet on the ground, and they're kind of your safe haven. So whatever it is that you do, like whatever creative outlet you have, for me, for example, it's art, just honestly try to grab onto it as much as possible, because it's a sort of therapy for me. And of course it doesn't amount to actual therapy, because that's a professional help, but art is it's up there, it's up there. Art was as important to me then as it is now, and I'm very grateful that I have this passion in my life. It's probably one of the things I'm most grateful for, is the fact that I have this thing that I can just do when I feel bad, and it always puts me in a better mood. So yeah, I think if you do have a passion, pursue it and really try to grab onto it. Yeah, if that makes any sense. So as you can see here, I'm just walking out my Winsor & Newton watercolors, and we're getting right on into the painting aspect of this. So I'm just taking a little detour of our topic of today, just to explain what I'm doing. I tried to keep the clothes sort of the same, so the little red purplish t-shirt and the grey skirt. I think the grey skirt was meant to be some like school uniform, because my school uniform had like a pleated grey skirt, so that's probably where that came from. In the drawing that I made when I was little, her complexion is paper white apparently, so I'm not leaving her paper white. I just think I meant to make her white, Caucasian white, so yeah, I'm just going to give her a pale complexion, I guess. And I tried to keep the hairstyle the same, like a really straight cut, and she had a lot of blush on, so like a circular blush, so I added a lot of blush on the cheeks. I'm aware the pose in it isn't exactly the same, but I really didn't want to recreate this broken-legged thing again. I just don't think that would be very good at all. So I decided to kind of put her legs still in some weird position and keep her arms out, but in sort of a slightly different position, I guess. I also decided to give her some sort of like background, as in the other drawing the background was way too plain, and I just kind of drew a little circle. I do decide a bit later what color I decide to make it. So yeah, getting back into the topic that we were on, mental health. It's very important to not see it as a taboo, because I was never taught in school about it. I was never really told that it wasn't bad to feel bad, which is something that sounds really dumb, but it's something that in school they never taught me, and I was always really embarrassed to talk about it to someone, which is why I let all my feelings like pent up inside when I was a kid, and the only outlet I really had was art, so it's kind of the one thing I fell back on, and I still do. So I just think that it's just so crucial to teach young kids and people really that mental health isn't a taboo subject, and it isn't something bad, and you shouldn't feel ashamed of feeling bad, or you shouldn't feel guilty, most of all, because that's normally how people feel when they feel bad. They feel guilty about it, and it's really ridiculous. So yeah, just know yourself and know what to do when you feel bad. So for me, normally I just like putting on like a comedy show and draw something, even if I don't feel like inspired or anything. Just the act of like taking my mind off of things and being able to draw freely just really puts me in a good mood sometimes. Most times, actually. So I think it's also something that comes with practice, I guess, and with experience. So it took me quite a while to figure out what my body needs, so it like gets back to normal once I fall into like these little pits of darkness, which we all sometimes fall into. But you can't just expect to do everything alone. So if you do feel like you need professional help, obviously don't just try and solve things on your own, because that's, as I said, we're not professionals. Unless you're a professional. Hi. But if you have a passion, that's already so great. Just delve into that. And I know sometimes art and mental health are kind of hard to talk about, because when you do feel depressed, it's really hard to get up off the couch and do something. And like, even if it's to do something you love, it's always really difficult to get out of your body prison, mind prison, or whatever you call it, and actually do something productive. But I think the first couple times is the the difficult parts, but then once you get used to it, it's easier, you know, to do whatever it is. Drawing has just kind of became a second nature to taking care of myself, and to me self-care is watching a movie and drawing, to be honest. So yeah, this kind of sort of concludes my mental health topic. I think I went through all of my pointers that I wrote down. I'm sorry if I rambled, but I tend to ramble when topics are sort of like this. So as you can see here in the drawing, I'm just adding the last couple details, and I went in with pencil to add like the finer details and like the line art over the top of it. And I am actually really happy with how this painting turned out. I think it looks quite cute. She looks quite magical and mystical. I didn't love the skirt. I think it was a little bit too flouncy and it wasn't pleated enough, but nonetheless I still quite enjoyed it. I did also notice she has like a very intense glare in her iris, so I decided to go in with my Jelly Right roll pen to add that. Actually, I'm not sure if that's a glare, if that's just the white of her eyes. I honestly don't know. I had to take a lot of creative freedom on on this one, but yeah, this is how my redrawing turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, I think I've improved a lot. I think it's safe to say, from 2003. Thank God, honestly, because those thick arms, oh God, and those broken legs. Okay, we're gonna stop looking at her. Let's look at the new one, the new and improved version. So yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, don't forget to click the link down there for starting your therapy on BetterHelp. I do think that if you're someone struggling, this is the perfect service for you. And yeah, don't forget to like and leave a little comment down there about what you think mental health and art have to do with each other, and if they do have a very close relationship in your life. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Ooh, Winter is saying bye in her sleep. Alright guys, bye-bye.